Hello, the purpose of this video is to talk to you about next academic year at Swakely School for Girls. I'm going to talk about, in three areas, student learning, student safety, and then parent communication. So firstly, student learning. Everything we do at Swakely's is underpinned by our four values of enjoy, achieve, aspire and succeed. But those values were put together quite a long time ago now, and I think it's always good to have a think about whether they need to be refreshed. So that's something that I'll be talking to all of our community about in the autumn term, and students will be able to put forward their views about whether we should in fact change any of our values. In terms of student learning then, there are going to be a couple of changes I'm going to talk to you about, and the first one is that we have listened to your feedback about homework and the fact that there's a lot of homework, and in particular for the students new to the school, it's a lot to remember. And so we've looked at our homework policy and we have updated it accordingly. And so the quantity of homework that's going to be given is going to reduce, but what I would say to you at home is that there's essentially never no homework, because really what we want children to get in the habit of doing is consolidating their learning. So after they come back from their day at school, it'd be really helpful if they've put down the key points that they've learnt in their lesson. That will stand them in really good stead for the future. And actually the research shows that that's highly effective in terms of helping students to get information into their long-term memory. We're also keen that you as parents know what's been set for homework, and so you'll be able to access via your child's ePraise login what homework they have and see whether it's been completed or not. We've also had a look at our assessment policy, and it's really important to me that the students are getting as much feedback as possible in order to help them progress. And the research evidence shows that that feedback is so powerful in supporting students to learn. So we've looked at our assessment policy, and there'll be lots of feedback given by the teachers. Sometimes it'll be whole class feedback around about the areas that have come up for lots of students in terms of any misconceptions, for example. A really important thing is that your child knows how to learn at home, that they can work independently, because actually they spend 89% of their time with you at home and only 11% with us at school. And all the research shows that if you don't do anything with the information you've been given in a lesson, so you don't try and learn it, you will forget it straight away. So it's really important that students are able to learn independently at home. But we want to support your child in doing that. We've spent a lot of time, particularly over the last couple of months, in looking at how we support your child to learn at home. And we have developed curriculum guides. So there's a curriculum guide for year 7, and that's for the whole year, and also for year 9. And on the website, you can find these curriculum guides. So you can start on our homepage, go to the curriculum tab at the top, and then you select the curriculum guide you want to look at. So we go into year 9. You can then maximize that image, and you can see then all of the information that your child will be taught in year 9. So for example, if you just want to look at German, you can look at the German tab, and it tells you there half term by half term what topics are going to be covered, what the assessment's going to look like, and useful resources that your child can use to help them prepare for any assessments. So as well as those resources, we will also be focusing in the classroom about how students actually learn and supporting students with that. In terms of our curriculum, we have made a decision to introduce triple science. So those students who will be in year 8 in September 2024 will have the option to choose triple science as one of their options. And we're also going to have a focus on those who are looking at Oxbridge as one of their options for university. And so we'll have some mentoring for students in year 10 through to year 13. Clearly, the most important thing with student learning is that students are here with us at school. So attendance, as we all know, is absolutely crucial. And I'm sure you've seen in the newspaper that nationally since COVID, rates of attendance at school have declined. I'm really happy to share with you, as always, that our attendance at Swakely's is very positive. And in fact, we are 2% above the national average for girls. And I want to make sure that that continues, so we'll keep focusing on attendance next academic year. But the other thing just to say to you is it's really important when children are in schools that they are in their lessons at all times. And we have had recently students asking to go to the toilet to fill up their water bottles. So just a reminder, if you could support with this at home, that students can go to the toilet or to the water fountain before school, at break time, at lunchtime and after school. And we really want to make sure that during lesson time they're where they should be, which is in their lessons and learning. We're going to have a real focus next year on praise and making sure that all the children in school that do the right things all the time are recognised for that consistency and being so positive in terms of their attitude to school and to learning. So those students will be recognised through regular assemblies. We will have a shop on ePraise, so when students are given ePraise points they can then purchase things through the shop. We'll have events, for example having hot chocolate with myself and other members of staff, and we will also make sure that as parents you know when your child has achieved a reward milestone, and that'll be through ePraise again. So further information will come out to you in the autumn term about that. In terms of student behaviour, the students are sometimes telling us that the corridors are busy, and we know that. There's 1,400 children in our school when it's full, and the corridors are busy. So to help with that, we have a one-way system that we ask students to follow to make sure that that congestion is eased. And we're going to be focusing on that as well in terms of being consistent. So I'm going to be asking the staff who are teaching lessons to be at their doorway to greet the children, but also to make sure that those corridors are safe and calm for the students. That's very, very important. So moving on now to student safety, it's absolutely crucial to me and to you that your child is safe whilst they are with me at school. And it's a real focus for us as a school because in September we're going to have new security gates at the front of the school, at the Clifton Gardens entrance. And because we're going to have a security gate, we've also got an opportunity to have slightly different arrangements around students accessing the site and making sure that where students unfortunately do come late to school, we're going to be able to let you know about that. So in terms of how we work together on this, it's really important that I ask for your support in making sure your child is in the school building by 8:40 because we need to make sure that they're informed time, hearing those important messages, and they are organised and ready for the day. So some of our arrangements around following up around punctuality will be changing in September, and they will start in October. So I'll come back to you with the specifics in the early part of September about how things are going to change. But if your child comes on time to school every day, then absolutely nothing will change. So that is absolutely brilliant. In terms of Clifton Gardens, we're aware parents have raised with us about the congestion at the front of the school. And so I have had a couple of meetings with the Hillingdon experts in terms of transport and travel, and they have put forward a proposal for Clifton Gardens in terms of changing it physically to making it safer. But what they said to me is that actually what we need to do is to see if we can encourage our families to be walking more into school. And to this end, in our newsletter, I've included a map which shows the school, our entrances to the school, and where you can park to be 10 minutes or 15 minutes away from the school. And that will really help the congestion. I'm sure that parents don't enjoy sitting, waiting to drive into school and waiting at the end of the day to pick up. So it will really help if I could ask for your support in easing some of that congestion away from the school building. The other thing that children have talked about around break times and lunch times is that it can be very busy in the canteen. And again, we know that the canteen simply wasn't designed for the volume of students who are in school. So we do our very best, but it does mean that students do have to come at a specific time for lunch and also queue up to wait at times for their lunch. And so we've got some ideas about easing that congestion. One of those ideas is to refurbish the Key Stage 4 cafe so that it's a really lovely destination for students in Key Stage 4 to go to at break time, at lunchtime. And that will happen over October half term. So again, I'll come back to you with further information. So finally, moving on to parental communication. It's really important to me that I know as a really important partners to the school that how you are feeling. So thank you again to those parents who filled in the questionnaire to see how things were going at school. It was really valuable feedback. And in fact, the curriculum guides that have been developed are in response to you saying that actually you wanted a bit more information about what your child is learning so you can support at home. So we have listened, we have responded, and in fact we'll be putting together for curriculum guides for all year groups later on in the academic year. We'll come back to you with further information on that. So I have actually asked a member of my leadership group, Fiona Johnson. She's going to be leading on self-evaluation. So she'll be regularly throughout next year talking to groups of parents, to students and to staff about how things are going at school so that we know how everybody's feeling and where we can make changes. We absolutely will. I will continue making my videos and I'm going to ask other members of the leadership group to contribute to those so you can hear about their areas of expertise as well. We're going to continue with our parental engagement evenings, and they're usually really well attended, so I look forward to seeing you all in person in the autumn term. And if I just remind you, the reason that we felt it would be sensible to retain online parents' evenings was if we also retained in-person parental engagement events, so you get a chance to come into school to meet with your child's form tutor and the YLC and all the leadership group members associated with your child. So please do look out for those dates. In addition to all of that, we'll be having coffee mornings. The first one in the autumn term is focusing on those who are young carers, and we're also going to have a PTA as well, and that'll be led by Helena Allen, who's the YLC for Year 7. We've had a think about how we communicate with you around your child's progress, and we have streamlined our reports, and we're making sure they come out to you regularly so you're fully informed about how your child is getting on, and with information again supported by the curriculum guide about how you can support them to make even better progress. And thinking also in terms of communication, we are going to be doing a piece of work internally in school about our IT strategy. I'm aware there are different ways that schools can communicate with families, and I want to make sure that we choose the right one. So we'll be spending some time next year thinking about the best portal, the best methods of communicating with you so that you know what's going on at school. So that is an overview, if you like, about how next year is going to be. I'm going to put further details in the newsletter, including changes to our uniform policy so that you can be organised for September. It's been such a positive year at Swakeleys, and I can tell you that the house that won the house competition this year was MC for a 4th year, and those students who are in MC were delighted to hear that we'll have a non-uniform day in celebration on Monday. We couldn't do our job so effectively at Swakeleys without your support, so thank you so much for that support, and I hope that you and your families have a wonderful and restful holiday, and we look forward to seeing you again in September. Thank you.